This week in Boomtown, a big step toward solving Columbus's housing crisis. City leaders approving a zoning plan that could bring tens of thousands of new homes. What's changing and how it could transform your neighborhood. Plus, more kids, more meals, and a growing need across Central Ohio. The Mid-Ohio Food Collective is getting ready to serve summer meals to a record number of children.
Money was tight. There were times when we'd have to go to the food lines because I just didn't have enough.
Coming up, why this surge comes at a challenging time and how you can help. And a new business is adding to major traffic troubles on Cleveland Avenue. Drivers tell us the congestion is out of control. This week, we find out what's being done to fix it and keep you safe on the road. Central Ohio is booming. We all see it and we all feel it. Whether it's the traffic, new homes, or crowded schools, leaders in this region will have to figure out how to embrace 1 million more people in the coming decade. So here's what we've uncovered this week in Boomtown. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Colin Dorsey in for Angela Ann. It's been another week packed with major developments and historic announcements. But first, let's get to the headlines. This week we start in Granville, where a piece of history just hit the market. The iconic Buxton Inn is up for sale with a nearly $6 million price tag. Zoned for hospitality, the property is listed as a wedding venue. The inn features 25 guest rooms in 5 buildings. And in downtown Columbus, a familiar favorite is making a comeback. The Boathouse restaurant has officially announced its reopening. This after hosting only private events. Their a la carte menu is set to return. They're now hiring for front and back house staff, but no official open date just yet. And a beloved German Village restaurant is set to close. Chapman's Eat Market made that announcement this week. The restaurant has been open for 5 years, and in 2021, it was named in the New York Times' top 50 restaurants in America. The restaurant will close at the end of August. And a big announcement from Microsoft this week, months after the tech giant pushed back a $1 million data center in Licking County. It's laid off another 9,000 people. This after Microsoft recently slashed 6,000 jobs. And Columbus is rethinking how and where the city grows. This week, City Council approved Phase 2 of Zone In, a major zoning code update that covers nearly half the city. Take a look at this map. All of the areas in blue are part of that update, including parts of the South Side, Linden, and the University District. In all, it affects about 66,000 properties. And it could clear the way for new homes near universities, hospitals, and job centers. The plan also makes room for mixed-use developments, blending in housing with shopping and restaurants. So, what does that really mean? It's only the second time Columbus has updated its zoning code in 70 years. The first phase passed last summer and covered just 5% of the city and made room for about 6,000 new homes over the next decade. These new changes could open the door to nearly 88,000 units at the same time. City Council President Pro Tem Rob Doran says it's not just about housing. The update also makes space for retail, like mixed-use projects planned by Fifth by Northwest.
This was the classic, old storefront that was from the 1960s, sort of more of a strip mall kind of thing. And now we're seeing a proposal with close to, I think, 12 units that are being proposed there with first floor retail as well. We want to make sure that we're having all types of housing built in Columbus.
City leaders say the new zoning code is already opening the door for bigger projects like this high-rise proposed for the University District. The plan would bring a 9-story and 16-story building to High Street, with housing for more than 800 students and retail on the ground floor. The 2 towers would be connected by a pedestrian walkway. The Little Bar and University Baptist Church would be torn down, but the pastor says the church plans to move into the new development once it's built.
It's just a very unique, very loving, kind of special little church right next to OSU that's been in existence since 1890. And they didn't want to go anywhere. They knew that raising that kind of funds for repairs was going to be kind of like too much. And so we looked at this as the alternative to stay here, continue to work in the University District, continue to be a church, and have some students live above us.
At a recent meeting, one resident raised concerns, saying buildings this tall could change the character of the neighborhood. But developers say off-campus housing is in short supply, and a high rise in that spot just makes sense.
This is the exact space for where high-density housing for students should be. It alleviates the need for cars. It's pedestrian-friendly. What ACC provides is supervised housing for kids that are secure, clean, and well-maintained. And so I would respectfully disagree that I think this is the solution.
The University Review Board held a meeting recently with plans to vote on that project, but it hit a snag. When only 4 members showed up, there could be a vote on this project as soon as next month. And a Central And as Central Ohio grows, so does the need. More families are struggling to put food on the table, especially those with kids at home for the summer. The Mid-Ohio Food Collective expects to serve a record number of meals to kids this season, even as they lose federal and state money. Now they're turning to the community for support. 10 TV's Tara Jabor has that story.
Shalia Jenkins is a busy mom of 4. The summertime is always tough, so she usually sends her kids to summer camp.
Being a single mom, it was hard to provide 3 meals a day. So being able to have them come here for breakfast and lunch as well as snack. By the time I got them, all I had to worry about was dinner.
The camp gave her kids a place to learn, meet people, and eat a meal every single day of the summer. Jenkins says she couldn't have provided food for her kids without the camp.
Money was tight. There were times that we'd have to go to the food lines because I just didn't have enough.
Mid-Ohio Food Collective provides meals to the summer camp Jenkins' kids go to, along with 40 others through its summer feeding program. And it's not your typical sandwich. It's a nutritious hot meal.
It is important for children to have consistent access to nutritious meals. We understand that it helps them feel better, it helps them learn better, we understand that it helps them thrive.
This summer, Mid-Ohio is expected to serve the most meals ever because of an increased need.
That demand again comes from the lack of access during the summer.
This comes at a time when the nonprofit is losing federal and state money. Now they are relying on the community to continue their work.
There are several children that don't get those 3 square meals a day. And so having this program is beneficial for those families as well as the community.
And all those meals are served to kids under the age of 18. The collective served over 3,000 children last summer. Reporting in Grove City, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
And 10 TV has been telling you about this loss in federal money for months now. The Mid-Ohio Food Collective tells us it would lose money because of nationwide cuts from the USDA. The Food Collective says in total it will be unable to buy nearly 700,000 pounds of food. Well, a major move this week could affect how much you pay in property taxes. Franklin County homeowners could see a tax increase this November if a mental health renewal levy moves forward. Adam H. is proposing a 10-year, $2.85 million renewal with a small increase to help pay for mental health and addiction services, including their new crisis center. For the average homeowner, that's about $69 a year per every $100,000 of home value, roughly $17 more than the current rate. County leaders say the need is urgent, with anxiety, addiction, and depression still on the rise.
You mentioned growth in Central Ohio. Here is a case where, A, because we delayed the levy, we're in a position where we've got to do something now. But B, we have this new crisis center as a facilitator of that alternate pathway and care. And so, and I believe that ultimately that is a cheaper route than the emergency room and the system that's set up now.
This week, the county commissioners unanimously moved to adopt the resolution. There will be one more hearing before it would hit the November ballot. Gridlock is a growing problem in Central Ohio, and this week we looked into concerns about congestion on Cleveland Avenue. One viewer says a new fireworks shop is making an already busy road even worse. 10 TV's Tara Jabor went to city leaders to find out what's being done to ease the traffic troubles.
At rush hour, Cleveland Avenue near Jordan Road is congested. bumper-to-bumper traffic, and constant stop and go because of the lights. Scott Metz lives nearby, and he says the traffic is unbearable.
I leave work at 6 every day from a half mile that way to go a quarter mile that way, and I bet it adds 20 minutes, just like it does when there's an accident.
In the last week, Phantom Fireworks opened a brand new store near the intersection. Metz says that he worries that will bring even more traffic to the already congested area, especially with 4th of July right around the corner.
The traffic, especially from people trying to make left turns, could be a bit insane.
Metz says he wants to see some changes on the road that he travels every day.
For the poor people that have no other outlet from their neighborhood but this one street, I would like to see another outlet somehow back here, or maybe at least another traffic light added.
He says the construction has also caused confusion for some drivers who don't slow down or understand the lanes condensing.
Even with just this little jog, I've seen people very confused. I've seen people clip the orange barrels because of the jog it makes.
We reached out to the city of Columbus. They told us that Phantom Fireworks will be adding a light across the street from the front parking lot to help with potential new traffic. Metz says for future projects, he hopes they take into account the effects on drivers.
Keep in mind the local traffic pattern when something like this happens.
Money's moving around the MLS. Sources confirming to 10 TV the Edwards family has increased its stake in the Columbus Crew. The family now owns 30% of the Black and Gold. They were already a partial owner along with the Haslam Sports Group, but now 30% will be in their name. Now get this, the three-time MLS Cup champs are now valued at $900 million. And we want to hear from you if you have questions related to Central Ohio's rapid growth, or maybe you want us to look into something for you. You can text us your questions and concerns at that number right there, 614-460-3345. And if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can always drop your questions in the comment section, and we'll do our best to respond. And don't forget, we also have our 10 TV Plus original, Welcome to Boomtown. You'll see how our stories seek solutions for everyone in Central Ohio. I'm Colin Dorsey. Thanks for watching This Week in Boomtown.